All right, we're on. Coming to you from Wilshire Boulevard in Koreatown, Wilshire and Mariposa Avenue. And yeah, right in the heart of Koreatown in LA. So I'm just going to walk around and kind of narrate some things. And yeah, we'll see what happens. See how we go. I'll get off this kind of on a busy road, but I'll get off of it fairly quickly. And yeah, it's crazy, man. LA is like, man, it's almost, I don't know. I can't say it's like nowhere else, but at the same time, I would say it's like nowhere else. It's really fascinating place and very different. So many different areas, so many different neighborhoods. I don't know it well. I mean, I've only been here a few times in the past 50 years. So really a handful of times, maybe six or seven. But it's yeah, really. I've never, and I've been to Koreatown. Last March, Lori and I went to Koreatown, and but we decided we're out here for 8 days or 9 days, and we decided that we would stay in Koreatown just as it's because we have a lot of stuff that we're filming, and we wanted to film here. It just seems like an easy place. Last time we stayed in Beverly Hills. So, which is like not, when you think about Beverly Hills, there's like the Beverly Hills, there's Rodeo Drive, and, like that area that's really super high end. And then you have, other parts of Beverly Hills that are really nice, but they're not like Rodeo Drive kind of thing. So, I mean, that's how life is, right? Manhattan, you think, oh, Manhattan, New York. Yeah, yeah. You got some parts of Manhattan that are like super bougie and really expensive, and other parts that are not. So anyway, so we are, you really sort of see uh, there's Filipino casual Filipino dining, but this is very much the heart of K Town, and like you really can feel when you're here. There's certain places where I am that I feel like I'm in Seoul, that everything is in Korean and all the restaurants. Here's like a Korean barbecue spot up here. Seoul night, you know, wild. So there's a Korean barbecue place over there, and yeah, it's really crazy. We're gonna come up to HMart. HMart is a Korean uh, large supermarket chain that are all across the U.S. Well, mostly in places where Koreans are. So there's one, Jeff. There's one down near you, right? I think we've been in Baltimore. I think we've been talking about going there and filming.
Yeah, there's
But
two close to Baltimore, H Marts, yeah.
no, it's new. Yeah, it's really fascinating, man. And like if I kept walking straight right here, I end up in Bangladesh town, little called Little Bangladesh. So here is last time we were here, we ate in this restaurant, on Angari, it's called. In English, we would say Hungary, but it's Angari, I think is how you say Angari. You don't say the G at all. Anyway, this is a really top uh, seafood, or I mean, Korean restaurant. Like it's just like filled. It's the other day we were here two different times walking by. Like the line is fully at the door, young people, and so here's another spot. It's really really fascinating, man. This is H Mart across the street. I'll go into H Mart, but here's you know this is Yeah. Oh, wow, man. Interesting. This is a Chinese place, by the way. This is not Korean. Uh, and I mean, it's also Korean too, but they have a little bit of everything. Um, you know, just really fascinating life. And the other side is there's almost I think almost a million Koreans here in LA. So an extraordinarily large number of them live here. And Koreatown is actually not in a really top notch, high end area. These little robots, these delivery robots, are driving all over the place. And then what happens is somebody walks in front of them and they just completely stop. And watch, we'll follow this up to the traffic light. It takes them forever to get across the street. And because they see things like, look, man, it's just like, I mean, it's pretty impressive actually that these things can just go out into the world and deliver the food, man. And then it arrives and the person gets a notification that the delivery cart is the little delivery robot is right there waiting for them. And you get a code and you go put the code in and it pops open and you get your food. Here we go. Like, so now, how's it know, man? But it knows. It's got the walk signal. Really, really fascinating. And if you could see here in the cars, people driving, I feel like I'm in Seoul. Like most of the drivers are Korean, at least what I have just seen right now, which is wild, man. But if I go up to Little Bangladesh, it will be the opposite. We walked up kind of near there uh, yesterday. Look at this guy. Like, yeah. So this little delivery robot, as soon as it sees someone, it just totally stops. Like it's got a really. So this guy and what you do is you sort of see how that guy put his arm out to tell it like, oh, go by, and then you realize that it's a robot, man. It's not seeing you in real time. There's another one up there. They're all over. As are these Waymo cars. I stand here just a couple minutes. A couple Waymo cars will go by. But anyway, this is like these buildings. These aren't actually really old buildings. They're made to look old. And Lori and I ate at this place across the street the other day, Moon Korean Steakhouse. It's crazy. Anyway, here's HMart. So we'll go into HMart. The other day, I was here and some guy recognized me, and we had put a video out saying I was coming to LA, that we were coming to LA. And so this guy saw the video, and then so he knew I was going to be in LA, and we were standing in line here, and then he recognized me, and he said he wouldn't have recognized me except that he had seen the video, and he had the idea that I was going to be in LA. So then he was like, "Oh, there I was." But he said if he hadn't seen the video, he would never just thought like, "Oh, that's that knucklehead Sam Richard." Anyway, listen, man, these are all Korean products, man. Yeah.
I will talk to you guys until Sam's connection gets back. I've never been to LA, so if any of you have, share your experience. The only time I've been to California was to go to San Francisco. I went for a friend of mine. Actually, I met her in Social 19. Um, it was her 21st birthday, so we went out and I flew out and we had a great time. Um, and we went to the different areas. I think on the second to last day or my last day there, I think I was there for a week and I just experienced it like a local. And then she was like, "You should probably see like, Fisherman's Wharf and all of that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I did all the touristy stuff on the last day. But it was fun. I liked it. But I've never been to LA. Oh, he's back. Hey, buddy, you're back. I was just talking to the stream about my only experience in California. You're currently muted, but once you unmute, you're good to go.
All right, man. I think I don't have any. I don't have a signal uh, HMart, so I can't really give you a walk around in HMart. So we're just gonna.
We gotta take
I
one
got-
of your Osmo cameras and do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll get footage from HMart.
Cool.
Yeah, what's interesting is you just see it's just so fascinating. When you're in a big city, right? It's the same as in New York or I mean anywhere. You have your neighborhoods, right? But Koreatown is it's one of those neighborhoods, or it's fairly good size area in Korea, but it's definitely one of those neighborhoods where um, it's very distinctly Korean. And there are people of Asian ancestry here. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can stay connected if I walk down this way. We'll go to the food court because the food court is all Chinese and Korean and some Vietnamese. But here it's just you really, really fascinating, man. There's like a Korean store. Hang on, let me see. Let me go upstairs, man. Let me see what we got here. I think I can stay. I think I have a strong signal. Maybe not. Why? Anyway, it's definitely one of these neighborhoods where it's very distinctly an ethnic neighborhood. And just think, here's Cafe K Gallery here, right? And Cafe K Gallery. That looks good, doesn't it? Man, I'm gonna have to bring Lori over here for that. Here's a golf shop. I was in this golf shop the other day. It's nice. I picked up a shirt. I don't think. Yeah, so wild, man. Let's come out here. Let's see what we got. City golf. Yeah. Maybe we'll practice some golf and look at that. Here's Korea barbecue. Here's the food court. I don't think I'm gonna get. Yeah, maybe so. Here. I can- Yeah, I don't want Chinese cuisine. Wow,
Seven, six.
kimchi stew. See, it's the same, right? It's just, you know, this is the place to be. This is where you come. Well, I mean, you get your best food at home, obviously, if somebody at home cooks. And, but if not, you come here, man. You know, there's so much food. People from all over the city. Apparently, I mean, we talked to a lot of people, a lot of folks all over the city, and you're showing up here for Korean food. You go to K-Town, you know, that's what it is. So it's also, man, you know, California is like 20 years ago, California crossed under the 50% number for the percentage of people of European or white ancestry. Okay. So by now, that was 20 years ago now. So now, I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody could look that up. Like what percentage of California identifies as white, non-Hispanic. I'd be curious. I haven't had time. I just haven't looked that up, but I'm curious to see what it is. Anyway, this is it, man. This is K-Town. And you know, like what's interesting here is yesterday we went to the young the flagship store, the very fun, and you know, Young is a beauty store, cosmetic store owned by CJ. And they opened their very first store here in the US, and they've got one in Pasadena. That's the one that we went to, and then there's another one up by Hollywood, and kind of between Hollywood and Beverly Hills. And just crazy, man, how much you know, just the products and catering too. So many people, so many different backgrounds. Like it's not just, you know, a Korea thing. So yeah, really fascinating. Like we'll be at KCON this weekend. KCON is like a big celebration of Korean culture. And so, you know, people really from all different backgrounds will be there. And I'll at some point I'll stream from KCON. But yeah, get a sense of it. Okay, Paris baguette over there. If you can see that, that's actually a Korean brand. That's a Korean store. Paris baguette. Here's Ichiban. That dude right there. That's Korea cool. Right there. There's Korean barbecue and tapas. We might eat there tonight. Because, you know, I mean, you can't beat tapas. And you can't beat Korean barbecue. So tapas is a Spanish. Tapas means like the top, like appetizer, right? And the top of the meal. And, you know, so just tiny dishes, very small dishes of things. So it's not appetizers as we think about it. Tapas are usually like half the size of maybe an appetizer in the typical US restaurant. And so, like, you know, you go to a bar in Spain and you order a little cognac, like a little beer, a glass of wine, and they'll bring you a tapas, like a little dish. And it'll have just maybe some olives or, you know, any number of things. So, yeah, it's wild.
It's funny that the two of us are would have different experiences in LA because you're staying more towards Koreatown, and I would be going to all of the different places that they use to inspire the creation of Grand Theft Auto 5. You're like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
the real life
yeah,
place.
yeah.
That is
I
beautiful.
know,
That's
man.
cool.
Yeah, this is where we ate last
How's
night.
the temperature? Is it too hot? Is it
It's pretty hot, man. It's like
yeah?
85 right now. So, and you know what?
It's
It's
about
a
the same
cool.
here.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Oh, this is where I want to go. I'm looking for a spot for us to have coffee and film later. So let me see. Maybe I'll go here. Anyway, yeah. Well, last time we were here, we stayed in Beverly Hills. So kind of, again, like kind of, I'm sure we we were on the edge of Beverly Hills. Like we weren't in the heart of Beverly Hills because, whatever. We stayed at a Marriott. And so, it's I mean, it's interesting, we sort of walked through some things, but Lori and I aren't like we walked down part of I think we drove down Rodeo Drive. It was, I don't like it's a fascinating sociological experience, right? So that's for sure. And yeah, so it's all fascinating to me, man. You know. Okay, I'm looking for a place where we're gonna the guy who who saw me yesterday or a couple days ago, I guess it was on Saturday. Uh, he who recognized me. We're meeting with him later because we just want to kind of talk to him a little bit about the history of K-Town and so.
Dude, you should film it.
Yeah, well, we'll have it filmed. I mean, Suman's gonna film, so we'll have the footage.
Suman's with you?
Yeah, Suman's here. Suman and JD.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they're filming a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Everybody go to Sam's second channel. It's down in the description. You'll be able to see when it comes out.
Hang on, I don't want to get run over right here. And so here in K-Town, like you hear so much Korean and so much Spanish. And so here I just will start so often just start speaking in Spanish to people. And yeah. So we ate here the other night. The guy who owns this place is Korean, but he lived in Bogota, Colombia for a long time. So we interviewed him. I don't think he's here today, but we interviewed him, and it's cool, man. See right there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it was cool, man. Nice. Okay, hang on, man. I'm gonna cross the street here. Also, one of the things about LA is just an extraordinary amount of homelessness now. It is, and it's gotten worse. And I mean, it's gotten more, there are just more people, the numbers have increased and it's hard, they'll like kind of push people from one place to another. But it just doesn't matter. Like you can't solve the problem without housing and mental health services, social services. It's like, it's so much of it is mental health at this point. And you don't have to be on the street for very long before your mental health starts to decline exponentially and very quickly. And so, the two go together, but a lot of times, a lot of the reasons that people end up on the street is because of mental health issues. And we don't, we closed all of our community mental health centers back 40 years ago. So it's just it's a conflagration of problems, man, that are all kind of braided together. And so, you just can't. It's sad, man. It's fucking sad. It's so unsettling. See, there's craft beer and chicken. Chima is beer and chicken. So here, these are all, like if you look here, right? Like look at the sign. It's just, I mean, this is what it is, man. Life. It's crazy. So fascinating. And like, right across the street from our hotel, right next to that big CBB bank, there's a Citibank building under that. And then there's SBS, which is a Korean television station, and then several television stations here. So from Korea, I mean, they're broadcasting, they're simultaneous broadcasting footage right out of. Okay, guy, tough guy. Yeah. So anyway, back to homelessness. It's in this particular area, there's not an extraordinary, well, but there's a lot, man. It's just sad, you know. So I don't know. Anyway, I was saying that I so often just speak Spanish with people. I just speak Spanish, and most people here, if they're not Korean, they're Latinos. And almost I have not encountered a single Latino who doesn't speak Spanish. Because here in LA, you just, you can keep your Spanish up, and if your kids are born here, they're going to learn Spanish on the streets and with their friends and friends' families, and probably at home. Like, you don't have to worry about them hanging on to Spanish or being willing to speak Spanish. And like among my students, there are so many students. Their families move to some small town in Pennsylvania, and then the parents don't speak Spanish with them, or not just Spanish, any language, whatever the language is, and then the kids end up not speaking the mother tongue of their parents, and then by the time they get to Penn State, the vast majority of them feel really like they lost out on something, and they did lose out on something. And parents wrongfully, immigrant parents, far too many of them wrongfully have this idea that if you learn two languages, it slows down your learning of English. And it's actually not that at all, man. The more languages you learn, the more your brain remains really elastic and creative. And so holding on to your mother tongue at home, your parents' tongue, will actually lead you to learn English faster. So because you're learning these languages, man, you develop a natural talent for speaking different languages, and so we're now seeing that very much to be true. And yeah, so it's kind of sad, man. I have all these people that I meet among students who are just really sad that they don't speak the language. They didn't take that opportunity, So, but here, when you're in a place like LA or Miami or parts of New York, you don't have to worry about that because you're going to speak the language. Here, hang on, I just want to point this out. This mural over here, these two women in hanbok. I don't know if I can see that. That's traditional Korean clothing. Hanbok is called. Kind of wild. It's just, And here's this area called Morgan Adams, and in Washington D.C., there's a really famous neighborhood called Adams Morgan. It's an upscale neighborhood in part of DC with tons and tons of restaurants. It's like a yuppie area. But if you're noticing, it's pretty dirty here now. And LA is. It wasn't yesterday. We were in Pasadena. It was not dirty in Pasadena. If you go to Beverly Hills, it's not dirty in Beverly Hills. It's not dirty in Hollywood. Well, there are a couple parts of Hollywood where it is, but here it is, man. And then many other parts of the city it is, and like this is so you have Little Korea here. So people come here because they want a taste of Seoul, and it's a cool spot, right? If you have an interest in different ethnicities and Asian culture and so on. But this is not Seoul at all, man. You'd never see anything like that in Seoul. The dirt here on the streets, you'd never see that. It's just filthy. The trash. It's my feet are sticking to the pavement, like as I'm walking. It's just nothing at all like that. And so, you know, it's kind of interesting in its own way.
With LA being one of the highest taxed areas, I would assume that the answer isn't let's throw more money at it. What do you think could be an answer to get LA to look a little bit more like Pasadena, where cleaner?
You know what? I just saw some the wage gap. I saw the wage gap. So there's a calculation that we do, and it's the median income of the wealthiest 10% in different states. Okay, I can't speak to LA, but the median income of the wealthiest 10% in different states. Okay, compared to the median income across the state. And so we talk about this the wage gap in this sense, right? So in California, the median income for Californians is, you know, like for the wealthiest 10% is like $170,000. So, but the median income for all of California is like 65,000 or something. And so there's a differential of 100,000. In Pennsylvania, that differential is about 60,000. And in the lowest states, the differential in the places where the differential is the lowest, it's like, you know, 10,000, 15,000. And those are places like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, you know, certain. Okay. So one thing is, you know, you've got all these like democratic socialist candidates. It's a big thing right now in the US. People saying, like, we got to tax the rich, man. It's got to do that. And of course, the rich say, well, you start taxing us, we're not going to have the money to create jobs and do all the kind of stuff that we do, right? Well, you know, I don't have to weigh in on that. I'm not going to, the level at which I have to think about economics is beyond what I can do walking down the street here. But you too, man. Take care. Yeah, you too, bro. And but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. You throw money at it. You could. It's just look at that swimming when their dog. I don't know, man. It's holy fuck. There's some dudes that are like definitely got that like fentanyl strung out experience. These guys, I saw them here yesterday. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have an answer. I mean, that's way beyond my pay grade. Yeah, it's sad though. You know, and people are just they show up here every single day, man. Over here, this guy, there's this older woman who's saying, here, I'll take you to her spot. She's older, either Korean or Chinese woman, and she's just selling whatever you can sell. And it's so crazy. Really, it's just, you know. And then you pack your stuff up and you come back the next day. This is her right here. She was the last one out here last night. Just selling, you know, beans and rice and bread and whatever she can sell. I don't want it to be obvious that I'm streaming, and I don't want to put people on the stream, you know, because I don't have consent from folks, so I don't really want to do that. But you know, you just see everyone, man. You're trying to make it happen. You know? Yeah, it's so wild. And it's hot, man. It's 85 right here. So it is very hot. Taco trucks over there. Well, there's a UPS truck and then one taco truck. How about that? But a lot of taco trucks. Look. Yeah.
Yep.
And everyone here is speaking. These are all Spanish speakers. Like all I'm hearing right now are people speaking Spanish. Yeah.
How's
Max.
the aroma?
Well, it's a lot of urine, man, smells on the sidewalks and stuff, unfortunately. Yeah. But here, yeah, I smell. There's some restaurants here, so I smell some stuff. But nobody's cooking. Nobody's doing any outdoor cooking, so I don't smell barbecue or something that somebody might be selling. So there's a woman on the other side of the street. Looks like she might be cooking something, but there's an Elon Musk car. By the way, I find those cars to be just incredibly ugly and has nothing to do with Elon Musk. Okay, I am absolutely and it's not. There are other cars that are other people find ugly, and I don't find ugly. I just happen to find that one to be really, really unappealing.
I think the Cybertruck is ugly, but I do like the look of the Tesla, like the Model S and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
big
no, those are
for
totally
the
different.
trucks. I think Rivians look pretty good for the
There's a
electric.
there's a Tesla right there. A lot of Teslas out here because California is such a EV state.
Yeah.
So
Also,
but
I'm
yeah,
a big fan of Mustangs, but I don't like the electric one. I think those ones are ugly too.
you know what? There's a new Volkswagen, like a van type thing out there. Used to be a van,
Like the
a
70s
pop-up
van?
Yeah. Okay, but there's a new one out, and I think it's electric, and it
Uh-huh.
looks a little bit odd. It's kind
Yeah.
of roundish, but for some reason, I think that was a brilliant move. And for some reason, I wouldn't get one, but I think it's cool looking, and I bet a lot of people think it's really ugly. But for me, for some strange reason, I don't.
I
And
wonder if there's anybody who's doing like van life in one of those.
yeah, and here's welcome to Nari, Koreatown. That's just wild, man. It's wild to be here. You can just see like it's just not if you want cleanliness, if you want to feel like you're on vacation and you went to a cool spot, you come here for an experience, but you don't come here to stay for 8 nights like me and Lori. You know what I mean? Like, but it's fine. It doesn't matter for us because we're here for other reasons, right? For the experience and because we're filming so much here. So, but it's like I wouldn't, this isn't where I want to be. Yeah. And so, like, there are a lot of people at our hotel who are, a lot of Europeans there, especially Spaniards and especially Spaniards and so many Spanish. And people get out of Spain in July and August. It's a big time to leave Spain. You either go to the coast, like a place like Madrid will really empty out in the summertime because it's so hot there. But anyway, here's the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea, which is really kind of interesting that it's that small, but that's the Consulate General. So that's probably where they meet Koreans or foreigners for visas and that kind of thing. But like, it doesn't. It's not a very appealing building. Doesn't match like what you would certainly expect. Yeah, just so crazy, man. Anyway, the reason we came out because I was giving a talk here. I gave a talk on Monday, but we left State College on Friday night, and yeah, so then we decided we got invited to a gathering tomorrow night, and we were filming all week. And Suman and JD, that's our producers of the other channel, they said, "Hey, why don't we come and film?" And so then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is KCON, and KCON is really the celebration of Korean culture, but kind of modern culture, K-wave culture, you know, food, beauty, music, film, drama. So there'll still be concerts every night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Lots of K-pop groups are coming in. So every night there's 7 or 8 groups that'll perform, and I think we're going to go on Friday night. But and then I'm doing a couple of interviews. Here's another one of these. Sometimes these things just get stuck. Look at, by the way, this is a big crow area, a crow roosting area. So you just see all the crow crap. Yeah. And the other thing about LA that's interesting is that people are filming all the time here, man. You'll sort of stumble upon a film shoot. Every time I've been here, we stumbled upon, there's a Waymo car, driverless taxis, and I have not been in one, but at some point I will. I just haven't bothered to figure out how to do it. Here, this is a crow roosting area. Look at it, man. You can tell, right? It's like, I mean, there are no crows here now, but damn, man, it's pretty wild. Yeah, so fascinating. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of characters out here too, man. I don't think that. Let me just say that a lot of characters. You just you see. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's characters. I'm just gonna say that. And the other side is Lori and I were walking down this very sidewalk last night. We took a walk, and it was dusk, so it was our time. It was about 8:30, maybe 9, and we don't feel unsafe at all. I mean, I don't. There are parts of LA that clearly are really unsafe, but what's we weren't unsafe actually. But the point is, it's like you gotta. It takes a lot of experience to know when you're in like a city like this, to feel or just to have a sixth sense about a place that's safe and a place that's unsafe. And we were talking about that. Like Lori saw these people getting onto the elevator at the hotel. She was waiting for me. And it's just like, man, those people, there's something about them. I just know that they're rich, right? Now it turns out that I had seen them in this breakfast restaurant, and they ate about $250 worth of food because it's really expensive at this particular restaurant. We and so I knew that. I mean, 200, you know, so 2 parents and like 3 kids. You know, I don't know, man. That's a lot of money, but they were definitely European. You could tell they were European. And if you don't know how you tell they're European, you just do, man. That's all. Like, I don't know. You just know. And it's clothing. Mostly it's clothing and a certain style. And it's also wallets, belts, and shoes. Huge. Okay. So anyway, Lori saw this kid was wearing these like slippers, you know, that like they're sandals, but they have like a single strap across them. So the toes are free, and but like you see these, they're Adidas or Nike. I don't know. They have a Nike swoosh on them all the time. You can buy them knockoffs for probably like $8. But these had a name on them, right? And Lori's like, man, hang on, I'm gonna look those up. And she looked them up, and they were like $800, or I think she said $800. It might have been 600. I don't know. It's either way. It's far more than I would pay for a pair of sandals made of basically plastic and leather, right? But it was the name, and I'm just wow. And I'm like, dude, how I know I know that you know that you knew that they had money, right? I mean, imagine like you got your 17-year-old kid or whatever, and they're wearing $600 or $700 or $800 sandals. You know what I mean? To the pool. Like, come on, man. But when you have a shit ton of money, it doesn't really matter. But the point is, I'm like, I know you knew that they have money, right? and I know you knew, and it's like a lifetime of knowing that stuff, man. It's like you can't teach. I was saying to her, man, you can't teach that to someone. You can't explain what you saw. You just have a certain knowledge of from sociologizing your entire life and doing it all over the world. You just have the sense of things, right? So anyway, it was kind of wild. So yeah, so that's where I was. I was on the other side of the street earlier. Laser surgery over there, man. I go get my neck tucked or something, you know. Keep walking out this side. Yeah, crazy. Our hotel is right. If you can see it, it's like beyond on the other side of that tower right there. You see some like different painting of sorts. Anyway, that's what I was saying. We're not very impressed. Lori's father used to have this thing that he would say that someone had an idea and they just forgot what it was. So that's kind of what this hotel is. It's trying to be like kind of hip. All the walls are cement, unpainted cement, and even inside the rooms. But it's just like, yeah, they didn't do a very good job. No, we're not impressed. It's rare that we stay at a hotel and like, nah, this doesn't cut it. But anyway, we're here. But the bed's nice, and our bed looks out over the city. We can lay in bed in this big huge window and we just look out over the city. Of course, all we see are the buildings. Hang on, I'm gonna cross the street here. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stay here. I'll walk this way. Yeah. Mostly coming to Koreatown, like so I'm like a lot of Koreans from other parts of California come here. And kind of because it's a place, but I don't know that Koreans from Korea come here. They might come here and like pass through, but I doubt they stay. And another notable thing is there are certain areas of California where dispensaries are just common, like on every corner, like coffee shops and places. But here, I've only seen one dispensary, and I've walked around so many parts of this area. But you smell marijuana, right? But not many dispensaries. And I think, Koreans are into the market because obviously they're entrepreneurs, man. So even though marijuana is very highly frowned upon in Korea, but you know, here we go. These ever-present like scooters, man, laying around. That's a scourge in my mind. Here's a Brazilian steakhouse.
So, and back in the day, like my older son, when he was doing it, it wasn't.
Here's some of these little delivery vehicles. Like if I were in Seoul, this is exactly what I'd see in Seoul. They're not even catering toward maybe on the other side it's in English. A little bit of English. Yeah, but your market here is it's Korean market. There's aespa. aespa is a K-pop group, pretty popular. They were here, actually, I saw them 2 years ago. I was here at KCON, or 3 years ago, maybe now I saw aespa. It was one of the groups at the KCON concert. So, we are, man. Tremendously good bowls. Egg tuck. Oh, there's our hotel right there. And we are up on the second wave of We are. Yeah, I don't know. No, actually, we're here. We're on the very top floor. We're the third to the last window, I think. Oven. All right, Matt, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check that out, see if it's near us. We'll be looking for a pub later. Here, Matt. Why Marxism, Leninism is the tool to save the world.
Did you say you were looking for a pub?
Yeah,
Matt,
yeah. No,
opinionated
we might
Matt,
be.
opinionated Matt
Yeah, I
said that
just
he
saw
had
that.
one for you, yeah, but closed.
All right. All right.
Well, Matt, if it's like if you meant it's closed like right now at 1 p.m. California
So you
time,
mean
then
it closed
let us know what it
permanently?
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's permanently, can't do anything
Yeah.
about that.
Uh,
It opens at 5:30. What's it called, Matt? When you said it was closed, I thought you meant like it closed down, like it was no longer in operation. But if it's closed until 5:30, then Sam and Lori could go over there for their evening
yeah,
beer.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, could be.
Sam and Lori, I hope you both like EDM music.
Yeah.
Actually, if it's in Koreatown, do you think that they'd be playing mostly K-pop or K?
Nah, you know what? They play. I don't like. I have just lots of different things.
Yeah, it's still America,
Yeah.
so they're still playing some American stuff, I'm sure.
Nah, yeah. It's just so. It's so complex, man. It's music. I mean, musical tastes are changing so fast.
Yeah.
God, I can't keep up with it at all. And so, and you think that would be a thing that I'd be, I mean, I try to keep up with it. I listen to artists all the time, you know, and my students are asking me, oh, have you heard of so and so and so and so? I'm like, no, man. And yet, then they show me a photo of them or they play a song, and I'm like, oh, yeah, 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 I've heard that. So here's like Citibank, New York Life. SBS is a sole broadcasting system, and then ASEAN Airlines is a Korean-owned airline. Yeah, it's just wild, man. Anyway, we're back at the hotel.
Oh, Matt sent it to you
All right.
on the Korean texting apps.
By the way, that guy right there, that's a Korea look. I mean, that's a European look right there, man. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is me. I should take these off now. Whew, dang. All right, man. Listen, I gotta head out. I gotta leave in an hour, and I've got to get some get a shower and get life together, and you know the whole thing here. But anyway, hang on. Let me look here. This is where we're at here. See, you can see the cement walls, and you know, it looks cool, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, this looks like a really cool place. And on one hand, it kind of is, but I don't know, man. Sorry, whatever. I don't want to talk bad about anything, but I wouldn't be back. But I never go back anywhere the second time because we're always going to like some kind of new place. So it doesn't matter if I would or wouldn't go back. Yeah. So this is life, man. Any other questions, Jeff?
No.
I should have put sunscreen on, by the way. I didn't put sunscreen on. That's a problem. Well, part of my redness is just because I'm really hot. So, but I needed.
Yeah, you gotta put
I'm learning
sunscreen
that.
on. You're in the city that never has clouds.
Yeah, damn, man. Yeah, that was a mistake. All right, well,
Next time.
whatever. But part of it right now is just my face is really red because I'm really
Yeah.
hot. So I was in the shade for so much of that. But,
Wise.
any other questions?
Wise, thank you for the amazing work that you did. or that you do.
All right, awesome, man. You mean walking around Los Angeles?
I think he means the class specifically, but you know,
All right,
you're on
all
streaming.
right.
For everybody, while Sam shows us the lobby, we have one more week of summer, and then we will start the fall semester. Starting tomorrow, we have the last 3 classes of a highlight video. So classes 27, 28, and 29 from last semester. I never uploaded the highlight videos. Now that the summer course ends tonight, tomorrow those videos will upload to the beginning of the semester. So very excited.
Yeah, very cool. We have I actually have the first week of this month, we have a ton of really cool classes coming up, but definitely on the first week of the semester. Well, the first day I introduce the class and then we do something, but the second class is going to be really, really cool. And then the second week, yeah, it's a lot of really cool classes, man. You got a lot I have a long list of new ideas. So, and other people, people send me stuff. So if you have any ideas, send them to me. But yeah, cool. A lot of happening, So I'm really anxious to talk to students about these various topics.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Listen, everybody. Peace out. And here's the K sign, Korean heart, and peace out. All right, Jeff. We'll be in touch. We'll talk. All right, man. At some point, I'll probably stream from Koreatown for at least a half hour or so.
Cool.
All right, man.